My Soul Radio, Thursday evening, me Size says in the house. Don't forget I'm here each and every Thursday taking care of things, playing you the very best in house music, but also bringing to you sometimes special guests from the house scene, whether that's DJs, artists to interview, whatever. But tonight is extra special for me because not only am I joined by some really talented people, also a very good friend of mine, and it's great to help your friends, isn't it, and just come together in the community. So good evening to Mo. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, folks.
Thanks for coming in today because you came on crutches as well, so that's dedication, mate.
Yeah, literally, got to do it for the poetry team. Took me a while getting up here, but I got it in the end.
That's it, man. No, there's a few flights of stairs. Sorry there was no lift or anything like that. And that obviously excuses your lateness slightly, that you was on crutches, doesn't it? So.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it was. I took a while to get up here. I thought there was a lift, but I realised there weren't.
Well, thanks for coming anyway, man. Just tell us a little bit about, we're going to talk about like our relationship and, you know, going back back a few years and your journey. But just tell us what's going on now. You're the head of a brand called Moetry, right?
Yeah, so I'm the founder and creative director. Actually come up with the concept myself many years ago, and it's been going for almost 3 years. In May 2017 is when it started.
Wow, okay.
So May is going to be the 3rd year anniversary, and it's just surprised me. It's gone from strength to strength over the years, and me not having a poetry background, it's done relatively well from what I know from people.
Wow. And we're going to talk, like I said, we're going to delve back in and talk a little bit about it, you know, some of the stuff that you've done, the ground that you've covered, because, you know, even from a spectator's point of view, you've covered a lot of ground in 3 years, haven't you, really, and done a lot of things. Yeah.
I've been lucky. The last, I think, like 3-4 months, I've actually done a lot of things for the first time. Just before, beginning of summer in July, I did my first festival. It's called Deeb's Day.
Okay.
In September, I actually was part of a charity event called Remember. That was my friend James Harley. That was in aid of CALM, which is Campaign Against Living Miserably. Sure. I was raising awareness for young male suicides.
Right, okay.
And this is my first radio show.
Wow. Really? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Welcome on board. Popping your cherry on my
cherries left, right, centre, yeah.
That's a good night, man. And it's all happening on Halloween as well. So yeah, we're going to talk a little bit, like I said, we're going to go back and talk about some of those things as well. And also, you know, your connection with CALM and obviously other mental health organisations and issues as well is something that we definitely need to speak about. But tell us a little bit about what's happening this week. Well, it's next weekend, isn't it? Or not even a weekend, sorry, it's a week tonight, right?
Yeah, next Thursday. So next Thursday, it's the monthly event we do. It's, the title of this event is called Back to 93. This venue is very close to me. It's actually managed by one of my friends. We did the birthday there in May. Okay. And then we came back there again a couple of months ago. And it's quite good in terms of the layout and the lighting and the stage. And it's a perfect setting for Moetry. As the event's grown over the last few months, we needed a bigger space. We was usually in a Star of Kings, which is a pub in King's Cross. Okay. And then we've managed to kind of be lucky to stumble across this. So that'll be on next Thursday from 7:30. Doors open at 6. All right. Got quite a big lineup of artists. Quite a lot of established artists coming there. We've even actually got an artist that's on holiday for America at the moment. She's going to be performing. Wow. Okay. We're going to have Your Track with Natalie that's going to be played. So that's going to be the first time we've got like a live play music and poetry set play to the audience as well. So really, okay. Next week, wow. Forward to it. And yeah, we're going to talk about the event and stuff. And you've kindly brought some of the guests that will be featuring as well. That are going to be here. Miss Yankey and Woodzy. Good evening to you guys.
Good evening.
We're going to be speaking to these guys and hearing from them in a little while as well. And just tell us the full lineup then, because you when you came to me, obviously I'm not like obviously in the same scene, so I don't know the level of the profile of people's names or who's hot or who's not. But you were telling me that it's the best one so far, one of them, yeah. Okay, so in terms of experience, we've got some of the flow poets, and these poets are residents in one of the probably one of the best events in London, which is called Flow Vortex. Okay. That is Miss Yankey. We've got another well-established artist called YA. They recently actually flew out to America and performed in a lot of different venues in different states. Wow, and they've done really, really well in terms of like breaking through from the UK artists. So I was very proud of them as well. Brilliant. And considering I've actually only met Miss Yankey last week. Wow, okay. She come and done a private event for me, but
we've kind of built a relationship just through social media.
Sure.
And she's heard about the event from other artists that performed there. So I've got them two in the bill. I've also got this lady from America that I met recently. She seems to be doing quite well. She's heard about the event. She said she'll be in London this week. She's going to perform. And
Amazing.
we've got a collaboration of like some more, call them bedroom poets that just kind of starting out. So they can kind of learn from each other and kind of see what the top dons are doing.
No, definitely, man. I think that's brilliant when you bring those two kinds of together. It's like that dynamic, man, and it's definitely going to be a good thing. So I'm going to just play a track quickly now, and we're going to speak to Miss Yankey after you. Is there anyone you want to quickly say hello to before anyone?
Yes, I want to give a big shout out to the Moetry team that helped me do the event on a regular basis. That'll be Maria, Leanne, Shane as well. Also, Charlotte, Lottie, she does the photography. These people kind of are the glue that pull the madness that is Mo together.
Yeah.
So they kind of, Maria and Leanne, they do the door. Lottie does the photography, and Shane be the DJ. He's in charge of the sound. So
wow, okay,
it's a team effort. So
strong team,
big up to all of them.
Yeah, no, big shout out to you guys. Right, so we're going to quickly drop a track. This is something one of my friends, again, because I was speaking to the guys earlier that I recently collaborated with a London poet, and obviously playing house music, it's dominated by a lot of the US spoken word artists and poets and stuff like that. So to come around, I really wanted to kind of just reach out and work with creators from London, and not that we're trying to alienate other people, but there's such a burning scene here that sometimes I feel like it gets overlooked. And even from producers like myself and my friend Ash that's here today, when you just work with one poet and you see it, you're just scratching the surface really, because there's so much talent out there. And it really pushed me as a producer as well. And this is a track here that a few years ago, because I don't know if any of you guys into the Def Jam poetry thing, or I listened to that. So there's a woman from there called Sahir Hamad, and a friend of mine, he didn't actually collaborate with her, but he sampled her. He was so taken back by the piece of work that she'd done that he actually sampled it from YouTube and then got the clearance from her, and turned it into his rendition, which is called I Will Not. It's quite political as well, and by a producer called Afronaut from a group called Bugs in the Attic. And it was out on Stalwart Records, I do believe. Right, so don't forget, we're hearing it, MyStar Radio, special guest in the studio, Moetry, joined by Miss Yankey and Woodzy. Sounds of MyStar Radio track in the background, I Will Not. That was Sahir Hamad on the vocals, the spoken word, the poetry, and good friend of mine, Afronaut, there on the production from Bugs in the Attic. So, yeah, and when I first heard that was like the thing that inspired me to want to reach out and try and find people to work with. And it was like whether I was going to be coming to your kind of event. But it was only really happening for me 3 years ago. This track's like 4 or 5 years old. But I'd realised that nobody in my scene literally had done a track with a London-based poet or spoke. I might seem quite crazy to you, but because I've got such respect for the art form and what you guys do, I didn't want to like just turn it into just a house track with a poet just on it, like playing.
I hear that, respect that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So for me, and Ash is in the room as well, we're going to hear from him later. It was more about trying to create like a canvas for the vocalist, for the poet, without really like trying to go too crazy. So yeah, so you got a couple of guests in the studio tonight. We've got Miss Yankey. Good evening to you.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
No problems. Thank you. I believe it's the second radio show you've done today. So again, that's dedication.
But it's nice I'm on this side of the desk. I'm not hosting. So this is nice. I got my peppermint tea. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, so the pressure's on me, not you.
Yeah, exactly.
How is the peppermint tea, all right?
Oh, do you know what? That's a good cup of tea,
It's not hard to make peppermint tea.
No, it's not. It's just hot water in a tea bag. But I'll rate you still.
Normally, I've got the Irish tea on the go, with the milk and biscuits. Next time I'll have.
But you said, does it have Baileys in it as well?
No, it doesn't. It's just a lot stronger and less milk.
Oh, okay.
Call it Irish tea.
All right.
Or if you're lucky, I might have bought some of my Barry's tea bags with me from Peckham, from the Irish butchers. So welcoming Miss Yankey. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I'm a spoken word artist, writer, poet. I mainly use my words for activism, so I'm very well known for being a mental health advocate.
Wow,
I advocate a lot for domestic violence awareness, but you'll also catch me at things like I did the Stop Trump rally early this year. I do a lot of political poetry as well.
Good on you.
Yeah, that's me in a nutshell. I run regular workshops. I have an organisation called Poetry Prescribed.
Okay.
And that's what we do. We prescribe spoken word poetry in the form of workshops. We pick a topic, we get a bag of people together.
Wow.
And then we use spoken word poetry as a catalyst for conversation. And then we create. So that's one of the main things that I do.
Wow.
I'm busy.
That's good. So where does that take place? Is that like a certain place where that happens? Area?
Yeah,
or?
so that's London Bridge. We've just moved to a venue called The Ship, which is right by Borough Market, less than 10 minutes from London Bridge, the first Saturday of every month.
Okay.
So people can find us just at poetryprescribed.com and everything's there, yeah.
So how did you get into this whole movement in the first place?
Into the spoken word movement? Yeah. I always wrote poetry.
Right.
And then someone said, oh, you should start submitting your stuff. I was like, all right, I'll submit. Submitted something for a national competition, got longlisted, got shortlisted. They're like, oh, you know, you've been shortlisted. All of the finalists perform at the Royal Albert Hall. So I'm like, oh, okay, straight into the frying pan then. That looks like I'm going to be performing some spoken word. And I did that.
Wow.
Took me about 9 months after that experience to jump back on an open mic.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah,
that was your first. That was
my first ever. I'd never performed a poem before, not in public,
live in front of people.
Not live in front of people. That was the first performance. Then I started hitting the open mic circuit. A night called Chocolate Poetry Club, which has been. We just had our 5th birthday. I'm now a resident poet and co-host there, which is nuts. I used to go there nervous as
I was going to ask you about that. Actually, you took one of my questions there. So tell us about that club.
So it's a community interest company, and we literally serve chocolate and poetry. Like, people come along. There's a real eclectic mix at Chocolate Poetry Club. You don't know who you're going to get or what you're going to get. It's not cliquey. Anything goes and everyone's welcome.
Sure.
So I host that, and then I host another event called Mind Over Matter. And we use poetry, spoken word poetry and hip hop to give people a platform to talk safely about mental health.
Okay.
That's another big one. We took that to Melbourne earlier this year.
Wow.
We're looking to take it back to Melbourne next year.
Amazing. So
over to New York.
You're travelling. I mean, your message is going far, man. That's like across the other side of the world.
Yeah, I've been travelling a lot this year.
I've seen that as well. Like, your travels, like your gift that you've got has taken you quite far. And you know, I always look back on some of the stuff I've done. Just being a DJ has taken me like around the world, and what I love and what really makes me burn is like it's taken me to like all corners of the world. And sometimes when you stand back from it, you're like, wow, it's an amazing thing. So how's that journey been for you?
Just funny how poetry, and it's probably the same with you with music, is you can be somewhere where someone might not even speak your language, but you can connect to them through your art, and I think that's a really powerful thing to have.
Definitely.
So yeah, I hadn't expected to travel so much this year.
Right.
I just got back from New York recently, and that was that was an experience and a half. Fast paced.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're a poet? Do something now. Okay. If you're ready and you're hungry in New York, then you'll eat. And it was a really, really good experience. So now I'm back in London. I'm focused on just building stuff with my collective. I'm part of a collective called the Flow Poets.
Okay.
We're mentored by an incredible woman, the Flow Assist, Natalie Stewart.
Okay.
Multi-Grammy award-winning poet, known from Flowetry, and we're doing a lot of exciting work with her for the rest of this year and beyond. Yeah.
How amazing! And is she? Who's the Flow Assist then? Is that her singers or?
That's her. Like, she was the poet from
because then Marshall was the singer, right? And Natalie was the
poet.
Wow, that's amazing. And has she been involved in Moetry at all? Have you had her on or?
No. The funny thing about that is I've actually got a friend called Jade from Manchester.
Right.
So when I started doing Moetry, she actually told me that she had family that actually run an event, and she did mention Natalie's name.
Right.
But then it just went back to the back of my mind, and then I've got another friend, one of the poets that comes to Moetry regular, called Natural Right.
Okay.
She brought me down to the Flow Vortex. That's actually when I come across Woodzy.
Is that another Natalie?
That's Natural Right. Yeah. And then eventually, as the night went on, I wanted to meet her, but she was speaking to so much people, I thought it might pass.
Yeah.
I was also feeling a bit nervous because I'm Moetry and she's Flowetry. So there might be some copyright issues there. But when I actually got to start speaking to her, and then I told her what I did and what I was about, she was like, "Oh, so you're the guy that's Moetry?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she called her partner over and she goes, "Babe, this is Moetry." And I go, "Oh," and she goes, "Yeah, I've heard about you through Jade." So her partner is actually my friend's dad.
Okay.
So that was kind of a bit random. And then she said she's heard about me doing my event in Manchester. She heard good things about it. And it was because to me, I I used to like listen to Moetry back in the day.
Sure, of course, man.
Moetry, Commonwealth, sort of stuff. So
sure.
it was a bit of a starstruck moment for her to even know about my event and that.
Sure, definitely, man. That's great recognition. It's great recognition and good
definitely.
signs that you're doing well. Right, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause again. Time just goes so fast when you're having fun. And then when we come back, you're going to perform for us.
Yeah, I'm going to give you something.
Okay, brilliant. And yeah, we're going to get back into conversation more. Just remind again, it's this next Thursday, isn't it? 31st.
Yep,
yeah.
So next Thursday, the 7th, 31st is today.
Sorry.
It's all right. That's the trick or treat. And then this is 7th of November at 93 Feet East. That's 150 Brick Lane. Doors open at 6. The show starts at 7:30. Please be on time, and you can get tickets at Eventbrite. Yeah, there we go.
This is My Soul.
Sunshine music for sunshine people. So right, yeah, Miss Yankey in the house. Do you want to introduce yourself once again and do your thing?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Do you know what? I feel like I need to come back and do a house special and do some mix with you.
Yeah, when you're ready, man. When you're ready.
So I'm going to do a bit of a medley. The poem that I'm going to perform is called Thoughts on Yesterday's Thoughts.
Okay.
And it's taken from my upcoming book, which is called More Than a Machine.
Right. Cool.
Okay, so you ready?
Yep.
Okay, so thoughts on yesterday's thoughts. Yesterday I thought that today they would matter less, because in that moment they mattered most. I was lost in thoughts about thoughts I didn't want my mind to host. Uninvited thoughts that were asked to leave but wouldn't go. Thoughtless thoughts. I wish I thought less. Put less time into those who care less. I'm a careless thinker. Allowing these thoughts to hinder my progress. These were my first, but now I'm having second thoughts. On second thought, I perish the thought of forgetting this thought. I'm deep in thought. I wish I thought better, sought better, but I cherish the thought. This line of thought has me repeating patterns I thought I'd fought hard enough to change. I thought wrong. I'm waiting on a busy platform for this thought to pause, but this train of thought stops at no station. I'm impatient. I thought this was, I thought I was, I thought for sure that today these thoughts would matter less, but alas, they matter more. So I try to think less and write more. I draw pictures with words that no one can see. My pen's loaded with invisible ink. As I hold it above this crumpled page, I can hear myself say, speech is silver, but remember you're trying to be golden. So although I will always hold on to this flow, there are undercurrents that you will only catch if you go deep enough into the river of my thought chain. I break chains in silence, but make waves so violent that some can't help but be overpowered by the force of my water. Mammy of 2 daughters, no sons, but mammy of 2 balls of bright burning fire, so I have 2 sons. I said, mammy of 2 daughters, no sons, but mammy of 2 balls of bright burning fire, so I have 2 sons. This mum can handle the flames of any inferno. My water falls like Niagara or Victoria. My flow is mine and cannot be mined by minds that don't recognize signs. My water signs important, catch the message in my sun and rising. I'm riding the waves of my pain till I reach the crest before resting in the still waters, contemplating the borders that separate the orders of omnis. I'm in tune with Neptune. You cannot divide my sea, you know this. You are not Moses. You are not Oceanus nor Poseidon. You may never disrupt the flow that was bestowed upon me. Do not think that cause you know my flow that you know me. I will flow forever like the lines that flowed before me. My timeline is timeless. In the maze of my brain, I can travel through time. I can move in straight lines from today to tomorrow, through the rain on the plains and the rainbows that follow. I can jaunt back to the future, to the depths of the hollows where the song of the swallows is played by Apollo. I can replay every living memory from this life, past lives, and even future histories. I'm traveling through centuries. My cells are filled with memories and fueled by past life energies. My ancestry's genetically connected. See, I'm predisposed to memories and energies my conscious mind has never seen. My timeline is timeless. My mind travels at supersonic speeds. Galaxies of thoughts orbit my cerebrum. Sometimes I get lost in the vortex of my cortex. I create here with no context, land of the lawless. 2 hemispheres, left, right, day, night, black, white, and I create on both sides at all times. My timeline is timeless. I got a very strong legacy with very strong genes. From a very long line of very strong queens, I close my eyes and I can picture the scenes. I walk where they walked, I dream what they dreamed. They flow through my veins, it's their blood that I bleed. My timeline is timeless. I know these nodes like ancient codes, so when I lay lines I flow like ancient odes you can believe in. I lay lines across this globe like a dodecahedron grid. My timeline is, my timeline is, my timeline is timeless. Thank you.
Well done, man. That's fierce. Amazing. It's hard to really follow up with words after you just...
It's a lot of words, right?
That's amazing. So that was a medley, you said, like a few...
Yeah, like just stitched a few poems in at the end, just the bars that I like, you know?
I was going to... There was a part that I think, because when I was watching some of your stuff, the part there where you're talking about your ancestors or the legacy that you come from, tell us a little bit about that. Break that down for me a little bit.
What, those particular bars? A couple of years ago, I was asked to write a Black History piece, with the last day of Black History Month this month. And I was like, cool, that's a wide remit. What do you want me to write about? They were like, you know, slavery and stuff. Really wound me up. So I ended up writing this piece that was less, I declined that commission.
Okay.
And I wrote this piece that was just about my bloodline.
Right.
And the idea that, wow, look how deeply connected we are to the women, particularly that came before me. So that particular part of the poem where I'm, what do I say? I close my eyes and I can picture the scenes I walk where they walked, I dream what they dreamed, they flow through my veins, it's their blood that I bleed. It's not even a metaphor, it's just a literal thing of, wow, the power of a woman, that we literally bleed the very same blood that our ancestors did. Yeah, it's a really important piece for me, that one.
Oh, that's deep, that's special, man. So tell us, also, you said about the book that was taken from your book as well, right?
Yeah, so
is that out or is it?
It's coming out. So if you go and follow me, everything's at Miss Yankey, and it's not like the American Yankee.
It's Yankey with a Y.
It's Yankey with a Y, Yankey. Instagram, Twitter, all of those. You'll find a link which takes you to tell you a bit more about the book, and it'll update people if you want to pre-order. Or actually, if you sign up, you get a 5-poem sampler with 2 exclusive, never published before poems.
Wicked. Yeah. That must have. How long is that in the making? Your book, is it a long time it took you to do it, or?
Do you know what? No, because it was a bit of an accident. As I said, I'm a mental health advocate, so I ended up just looking through all of my poems and be like, wow, these poems have told the story of my journey with mental health from my own. Now, I'm a domestic violence survivor, which is why I do so much work around violence against women.
Okay.
But I also speak very openly about my own battles and my own journey and recovery with mental health. And I realised all of these poems for the last few years, once they're weaved together, literally tell the story of my own mental health journey through to now, to recovery. And I just wanted to share that and give a voice to people that don't usually necessarily get heard.
Definitely. Well done to you, man. I'm sure you are extremely proud of yourself. I don't even know you, and I feel proud for you. Just
thanks,
listening to you say that. So, and just remind us again where we can go and buy the book, or when we can buy it.
So the book will be out end of December. I don't have a date yet, but you can go.
Is it going to be like a physical book as well?
Yeah. Be a physical book. Cool. There'll be like maybe like a 6-7 audio. Like EP that will go with the book, so people can hear the audio as well.
The Kindle users.
Yeah, just, you know what, not everyone wants to read poetry. Some people like to enjoy the word and they want to hear it. So I think it's really important to be able to give people different ways to enjoy your work.
No, definitely.
But it's called More Than a Machine. And if you go to missyankey.com or @MissYankey on any platforms, then you can kind of find out about when it's coming out, join the mailing list and be first in line to receive it.
Sure, no, definitely. And going back to the mental health stuff that you guys do, and also like the domestic violence thing that you're involved in, where can people get involved in those workshops? Is there anyone listening now? Because not everyone necessarily tunes in live to the show. A lot of people listen again. It will be back up on Mixcloud. So it'd be nice to let people know whereabouts these things are taking place.
So the workshops are monthly. I do want to stress as well that the workshops are open for everyone. So at least 60-70% of people that turn up are not writers.
Okay,
they're just everyday people that come along, and the idea is it's a safe space for people to come and connect and to discuss various topics. So we've covered everything from violence to celebrating women. Saturday's workshop is called Life Lessons. So really it's just a space for people to converse, and I design them in a way that anyone can create. So I give at least 5 different writing templates for people. Okay. So everyone leaves my work. Like, we've been running for 2 years. No one has ever left a workshop without writing something.
Wicked.
Yeah. So poetryprescribed.com, and that's where people can find out more about the dates.
What a cool name as well, man. Poetry Prescribed.
Yeah.
Love
I'm
that.
the poetry pharmacist, you know.
I love it, man. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So what's upcoming for you? Obviously, you got Moetry on Saturday, gig wise or performance wise.
So yeah, Thursday the 7th, I'm at Moetry. I've got some new stuff that I'm going to perform there. I've been waiting to go down for a while. Very good friend of mine, I Am Shahid, has been championing this night for a while. So I've got that. It's also Flowvember, which is a 5-year anniversary of Flow Vortex, which Mo mentioned earlier.
Right, okay.
So we've got two shows.
Check this Flow Vortex place out.
That's a hotbed of talent for you.
Because one of my, again, the connections is mad the way things are, because one of my favourite places is infamous place that I play in Croatia. It's a morning party that I'm a resident of. It's called Vortex. And some of the stuff that happens, it actually is mad because it's where I first met Ash that was sitting there. I don't know where he's gone, but are you over there, mate? Yeah, that's where I first met you, right? So we got to go to this Vortex, haven't we? Yeah. So we're going to hear from Woodzy now in a minute. But you guys perform, are you like connected before? Is it you've worked together before?
We're in the same collective, so we're both flow poets.
Right, okay.
I'm on his album.
Wow, right,
yeah,
dope.
We've done quite a bit of work together. We're working on our next project is called Stop It. It's a whole collective.
Okay.
And it's just purposeful poetry, using what we do to actually connect to our communities and do something to continue this conversation around knife crime.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
but I'm sure Woodzy will tell you a bit more about that.
All right, cool. So before you leave us, have you got another piece that you could share, maybe a few minute one? But you don't have to if you...
No, I'd love to.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I know
something short and
short and sweet, like me.
Yeah. Should we go political?
It's entirely
mental
up to you.
health. Make a choice.
Maybe mental health.
Yeah. You want mental health?
Yeah, why not?
Do you want a little story?
Why not? Yeah.
I'll tell you a story.
Okay.
As kids, we used to listen to Me Against the World and smoke weed around the round table, setting the world to rights and sharing dreams. I wanted to be a poet. And you? All you ever wanted to do was rap, be bigger than Pac. As your fingers crushed buds, my heart skipped beats. You were my secret crush. I'd fantasize that I could one day be the Bonnie to your Clyde. Your perfect green eyes were red. They were so red. But wide, you were sweet and shy. As your luscious lips licked wet mango blunts, I couldn't help but blush. They were your favorite flavor and you were mine. That summer was the best. I Just Wanna Sing was pretty much on repeat, and every time track 11 played, we'd lock eyes and share a secret smile. That track was us. And for a while, I really thought that we would flow forever. We used to talk deeply, daily, but daily soon became weekly, and weekly became monthly, until suddenly it was rarely. I heard the rumors, but paid no mind. They said that you had lost your mind and could not find it. They labelled it schizophrenia, brought about by a drug-induced psychosis. How the hell did I not notice? You locked yourself away from reality. I missed you. As your memories fragmented, you no longer trusted me or anyone. Your thoughts went to war with your emotions, and our friendship was just one casualty. As you fell to pieces, so too did my heart. You started scaring people, becoming unpredictable and violent. I knew you must have been frightened. Delusions fed your confused state. They said you were dangerous. You, my mate, the gentle giant. They locked you up and pumped you full of drugs. I didn't know what to do or how to help. I tried to reach you, but you had already traveled too far into darkness and could no longer see my light. You used to speak with passion and fight, but as time went by, you died inside, and I selfishly mourned the loss of our friendship. Your shattered dreams left me with lacerations, wounded and filled with anger. I'd listen to DMX on repeat. The Great Depression saved me from depression through expression. Devastated, guilty, confused. Oh, I was vexed. Why you? What did you ever do? Were you cursed? Were you hexed? You deserved a fair shot at your dreams too, didn't you? You were the rose that tried to grow but never made it through the concrete. I will never forget those sweet summers. I miss you. Thank you.
Powerful, man. Once again, brilliant. My Soul Radio and Me Sai Says in the house. We've got a full house tonight. Lots of talented people in the studio, based around the poetry and spoken word movement. Moetry. Mo, she's done great, didn't she? Brilliant.
Yeah, she always exceeds my expectations, to be fair.
Definitely.
An assassin on the mic.
Definitely, 100%. Well, thanks, Mo, as well, for coming down and blessing us as well. Woodzy in the house, good evening to you, sir.
Yes, good evening. How are we doing?
Very well, thank you. You?
Yeah, man, I'm doing really well. Yeah, really good to be here. Thank you for having me on.
No problems, man. Thanks for coming down and sharing some of your gifts and stuff with us. Just tell us a little bit about yourself so that people can get to know you a bit.
Yeah, man. So, like Miss Yankey said, I'm part of the Flow Poet Collective.
Okay.
Before that, I was doing music. Kind of fell off for a little bit, trying to find myself, and then I got into spoken word, started writing again, found the Flow Poets.
Wow.
Really found myself again, found my happy place, so to speak.
Sure.
Met Mo and a bunch of other people on the scene, and then from then I've been writing, recording, performing, and just released my new project called Happy Place.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a bit. So just jack back a little bit. So you used to do music before, because I feel like I've seen you somewhere before, you know, or I heard you.
Yeah, I mean, going back 5 or 6 years, I had like a Tim Westwood session. I had stuff on Link Up TV.
Right. As a rapper? Or?
Yeah, as a rapper. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Dope. So, you know, you're talking about you came back round and you found yourself again and found a happy place, and that's the title of the EP that's out already, right?
That's the title of it. Yeah. So basically, just finding myself and finding the enjoyment of writing again. I was able to find music again as well. Music's always been my happy place from an early age. Yeah. And I felt like that became the perfect title for the project, linking it all together.
Definitely, man. Because we go through, you know, it doesn't matter if it's like what you do or what I do. Sometimes in this, I hate to refer it to as a game, because it's not a game, definitely for people like me that do it for a living, but in the kind of industry that we're in, it can be up and down, can't it?
100%.
A lot. And I think the way you guys, even with yourself, the way you've just said that straight off the top, is like finding yourself again. Do you know what I mean? Some people can't even admit that they even need to do that, or that's become a thing. So yeah, no, more power to you, man, for that.
Thank you, man.
So how long did the EP take to come together and stuff?
So altogether, it probably took around 2 years, like a 2 year process. Right. I had like half of it, but I didn't so I had around 7 songs. I didn't know what exactly to do with them.
Right.
And it was at that time that I found the Flow Poets and became involved in the spoken word scene.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is exactly what I needed. And then I actually wrote a piece called Happy Place.
Okay.
And that became part of the intro to the project. And then I was like, you know what? I really want to be able to get some other poets involved and like get my favorite poets to write about what their happy place is.
Wicked.
And then to hear people that I love listening to, and I was honored enough to have them actually come on the project and talk about what their happy place is.
So it's some of the poets that you listen to and that you look up to and stuff. Wicked,
poets.
Man. That's dope. So what is going back? I see that this whole like flow poet thing. What's the difference? What's the difference between like a flow poet or just a poet?
I mean, there's not really a difference. We're the Flow Poets because we're working under the Flow Assist.
Right.
So that's like kind of our collective name, but we don't want to brand ourselves and say we're the Flow Poets and you're not. Like anyone is like a Flow Poet.
How many Flow Poets is there?
There's around like 20 of us at the moment.
Wow, yeah, 20, yeah. Okay.
Bro, it's a big family, man. It's a big family.
That's strong. And I don't know, I'm not really even being around your community too tough or anything like that, but I just feel I can really feel the togetherness. Definitely. And I feel like as well, maybe I might be wrong because you might all roll your eyes. I feel like it's not driven by like ego or anything like that.
No, 100%.
Whereas where I come from, you know, I don't really care who thinks what I'm saying when I'm talking in the show, but I feel like where I come from, it is very, very driven by ego and what else can I say? How can I put it? But it's almost, you're not really there for what you're saying you're there for, you know what I mean? You might be a DJ, it might be this, but the whole purpose behind it's different. But I feel like with you guys, there's like this real overwhelming sense of realness.
Yeah, there's a massive togetherness with us. Family. Like, yeah, definitely. Family's the perfect word for it.
Sure.
And it was great meeting Mo and being able to go to the Moetry events as well, because he's become like a part of that family for me. Like, he had this show up in Leeds like 2 weeks ago, and he didn't invite me, but I was like, you know what? I love Moetry so much. I want to come along and like, and perform there as well. And yeah, man, and that was such an amazing night as well to see what the Leeds poetry scene was like, because obviously that's people that I hadn't heard before.
Sure.
It was one of the best spoken word events I've been to.
Wow,
like,
man.
The caliber of talent was incredible.
Wicked.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna go back to Leeds.
Yeah, and I just think it's dope as well, because when you're from London, when you hear people, because their accent's so different to ours, so it's different. Again, it's a different dynamic. And again, I wouldn't even think, I mean, I'd say this with the greatest respect to my friends from Leeds and anyone else who's listening, but I wouldn't have even envisaged there was like a poetry scene as such in Leeds. Yeah, or if there was, it might have been like more of like a kind of elder statesman thing and people reading from like old books and stuff like that. But yeah, so right, so tell us also about you had a big piece that reached quite a lot of views. Is it 90s Baby?
My 90s Baby piece, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
it went crazy online. Like, it's not even like a proper video. It's literally someone took a video on their phone. It was actually, I did it at Chocolate Poetry, which Yankey was talking about earlier.
Right.
So it's a performance that I did because every month they have the audience favorite, and then they come back and do a feature set. So after I'd done my audience favorite one, the month I came back, I did this in my feature set, and someone filmed it. And luckily they filmed like the whole thing, and they were sitting in the front row, so it was a really good like quality one. And I decided to just put it on Facebook, and it went mad. Like, I went to bed and it was on like a couple hundred views. I woke up the next day and it was on like 22k, and I was like, and then it just kept going and going and going, and it's on it's just under 1 million views at the moment. It's like 963,000 something like that. Crazy, it's mad.
In this world that we're living in now, it's crazy where things like that can happen. Just someone takes a thing on the phone, the next thing, bam, bam, bam.
It's crazy.
So you're going to do a piece for us now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I should probably do the 90s piece, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
with that build up, I should probably do it.
He's quick, he's sharp, he beat me to it. Yeah, so definitely, or any piece that you like.
I'll do the 90s one, yeah.
What, in the sort of scene you come from, is there sort of like a average time of a poem, or is there not?
I mean, if you're going to like a poetry slam or stuff, a lot of people will say 3 minutes. Has to be 3 minutes. And Miss Yankey will get at me because none of my poems are 3 minutes.
Let me just go back to what you're saying there, because I forgot to ask Miss Yankey, actually. Are you a slam champion? You are, so I forgot to ask her that. Yeah. So tell us what the slam is before we hear from the champion.
So slam is like a competition.
Right.
So like it's where poets will go, and then audience would, sometimes it's when an audience choose like who they think's the best. Right, there's certain rounds, but different slams are different.
Same.
So then I won the poetry competition as well, UK Unsigned. So I just won the spoken word version of that as well this year. This year,
well done, man. Touch me, man.
My guy, thank you.
Big up.
Yeah, so that was incredible for me as well.
Yeah. Are you a slam champion then?
I'm not. So I've only ever been to one slam, and I actually came last. And the reason I came last, apparently
it wasn't under 3 minutes.
No, it was under 3 minutes. So they gave random people in the audience cards to vote with.
Okay.
And for some reason, every poet that was there that night was probably in their 30s, 40s, reading from a book.
Okay.
And then I came and I was just barring, basically.
Yeah.
And one lady voted me like the lowest score on the night, and I asked her why, because I just wanted to know.
Yeah, sure.
And she was like, "You moved your hands too much. You look like you were trying to play air guitar." And I was like, "Are you mad?" Like, yeah, like I didn't really know what to say, but I mean, that's just someone's opinion, and everyone's going to have a different opinion.
Definitely.
Yeah, man, it was just.
Moetry, don't worry about it.
But
all right, cool. So, and yeah, congratulations to the slam champ over there. Yeah. How many years reigning are you?
You know what? I landed in Melbourne.
Wasn't it the day after?
It was the same night. I was like, we're going to a slam.
Right. Okay.
And yeah.
Oh. Well done. Oh, in Australia as well.
Plane. Yeah, she got straight off the plane and won it.
International, yeah. That's good. That's good. So, all right, we're going to hear from you now on.
Cool.
Let us know what it is and who you are once more.
Cool, yeah. So my name is Woodzy. You can find me on Instagram at WoodzyGram, and this piece is called 90s Baby. I was born in 1994. But if I shaved off my beard, you'd probably think I was born in the 2000s or maybe just before. See, back in the 90s for me, everything was easy. From reading Biff and Chip at school to going home and watching Recess on my TV. I was so into Pokemon, I literally thought that I was Ash. In my head, I looked like a mixture of him and TJ Detweiler when I turned my hat to the back. I remember playing Spyro and Crash before my PlayStation crashed. You remember that moment when the symbol came up, it hadn't actually frozen, when your hardest decision is which starter Pokemon you should have chosen? I remember watching Hey Arnold and Art Attack. Most of these things you probably find in a 90s baby starter pack, like Beyblades and Crazy Bones. Wanting to own your own treehouse or having walkie-talkie radios, like going out for bike rides and having jumpers as goalposts, those shoes with the wheels and the heels. Heelys, I never had them but wish that I owned those. Where the hell is Wally? I haven't seen him since going food shopping with my parents and sneaking turkey Twizzlers in the trolley. No, but forget Jamie Oliver. Where the hell is Wally? I haven't seen him since going food shopping with my parents and sneaking Sunny Delight inside the trolley. From playing Wembley doubles to headers and volleys, if I was to put on a blue hat right now, I'd literally look like the real life version of Noddy. But honestly, Scooby-Doo was onto some relevant shit, cause it was always the human beings dressed up as the monsters doing all of the terrible things. If they were to make a new episode today, I can almost definitely say Jinkies, because under the mask you found Donald Trump saying I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for that dumb dog and those meddling kids. Bro, I ain't telling no fibs. That's so Raven and Lizzie McGuire was really my ish. But more so, I felt for Gordo, because that guy was in the friend zone before we even knew what that is. Sorry, knew what that was. Now, because I'm doing poetry, I gotta try and be a bit more grammatically correct, unlike them when I'd say stuff like BRB or soz I, G2G, cause I got to go and update my top friends on Bebo. There is no point in me playing GTA anymore, as I've just lost all of the cheat codes. See, no one really uses MSN anymore, but this girl just told me I'm a Hotmail. And now, because I got a different outlook on life, if she wants to come and stay, we don't have to top tail. Take me back to when I could still pay 10p for a Freddo. When the worst possible pain I could ever feel is walking around my house barefoot and accidentally treading on some Lego. I used to bang out Busted and S Club 7 so much like I was in some European rave dancing to techno, but maybe I was just reaching for the stars from the get-go, because I would have these glow-in-the-dark stars on my ceiling. I look up at them every night before I drift off. My taste in music literally goes from a grime song to a Disney song, from hip-hop to Slipknot to reggae. I remember playing Mario 64 to Ocarina of Time and Super Smash Bros. Melee. To me, Ronaldinho was always just that guy. He was like getting to the end of a level on a Mario Game Boy game and thinking, how did he set the bar that high? That's right. I'm talking back when we used to watch VCR before we had DVDs. Back when they had Dick and Dom in the Bungalow on BBC. Now if you were to look up Dick and Dom in a Bungalow BBC, please be careful of the results that come up in your HTTP. I remember buying my first CD from HMV to watching hours of DBZ up on my TV screen. Please don't scream. That's what my mum would say to me and my friends when we were saying who could shout out bogeys the loudest. I don't think I remember a more epic moment than Vegeta saying it's over 9,000. Bro, I was the proudest when I got my first pair of Total 90 trainers. I remember going to get them on the weekend and walking into school on Monday like I was actually famous. I felt like Harry Potter when he rolled that first Nimbus 2000. Like Goku when he rolled that first Nimbus Cloud, or the first time that Mario defeated Bowser. It felt like when I got that first Just Do It bag. My friend had that new N-Dub song on his Sony Ericsson Walkman phone. I was like, can you please Bluetooth that? I remember putting 101 viruses on my computer from using LimeWire and RuneScape, and kids today don't know those things. I know you felt so cool when you set your BBM status to Slee Don't Ping. I feel sorry for Stacey, because all we ever did was sing that song about her mother. I remember the last couple minutes on the last day of term before that amazing 6 weeks of summer. All of these things will stay with me probably forever. Back in the 90s and the early 2000s when things were just that little bit better. Thank you.
And that's the 90s baby piece, yeah?
That's the piece that was mad.
There's so many things that even I'm definitely not a 90s baby, man.
But you can relate to it, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. There's so many things just pinging off there that I was like, wow, that I actually even forgotten about. And they make you smile as well. So yeah, big up, man. Never touch that.
Thank you, my guy. Respect.
And so how old is that piece then, and when did you write that?
That piece is probably just over a year old. Yeah, just over a year. So I don't know what it was, what made me write it. Like, I was just having a night when I was like probably playing my old PS1 game. I was just having a night of nostalgia, playing Crash Bandicoot, playing Spyro, and I was like, you know what, like, I just want a whole poem talking about everything that happened. And I made one list on my phone of literally everything I could think of. And there were certain things that I didn't even get to mention in the actual piece, stuff that I actually had to leave out. But yeah, I've still got the list somewhere in my memories on my phone.
There's definitely some blast in the past, like LimeWire. You mentioned LimeWire. You can't forget that, can you, man?
The amount of viruses I gave my computer.
And I remember Lizzie McGuire as well, because my little sister used to watch it. So yeah, just little things like that, man. It's great. So I can see here as well that you currently got a poem in the Tower of London, which is accessible on the tour.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
wow, that's amazing.
So yeah, that's actually about Guy Fawkes as well. So
yeah, quite relevant.
Coming up and stuff.
So you'd written the poem about Guy Fawkes. Yeah.
So I did a workshop actually with Miss Yankey. Miss Yankey ran the workshop.
Wow.
And we were working with a guy called Fusion, and basically he was the guy who was able to put everything together. And we actually recorded a video of these pieces, and we got to perform them to an audience in the Tower of London.
Wow.
Which was crazy. And for me, one of the most craziest things is during the day before we performed, they ordered us Wagamama when we were in the Tower of London. Okay. So they ordered on like Deliveroo or something. So Deliveroo bringing Wagamama to the Tower of London. Like, it was mad. And because I performed the piece about Guy Fawkes as well, so I bought the mask from V for Vendetta. I bought that to wear. And I turned up to the Tower of London, and security looked for my bag and they were like, what is this? Like, this guy's trying to come into the Tower of London with a V for Vendetta mask. Like, what's going on? But I was like, yeah, my answer was, oh, I'm a poet. It's fine, I'm a poet.
My Soul Radio, me Sai says in the house. So yeah, interesting show tonight. A little bit less music, more talk. Normally I'm saying like more music, less talk. It's the other way around. But I mean, Mo, you're here from the Moetry brand. Poetry and spoken word movement. You've got your event next week. And again, like I said, because I'm not too big on, obviously I don't really know much about the London poetry scene, but those two guys you're telling me that came in are like cream of the crop, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've only come across them recently. Woodzy a few more months ago, but Miss Yankey, I've heard good stuff about her and I've come across her videos, and especially from being Flow Vortex. There's also another range of poets that have been with me for most of the start of it. Big shout out to Natural Right, Mama Sue, Alex Long. The list does go, and if I forgot to say you, you know you are. But especially with Woodzy, where he has an EP coming out at the moment, I thought it's just a good idea to bring him out here, to give him some platform. And he's done quite a lot of stuff for me recently, and he travels from so far to do it. Yeah, I thought I'd give him a little platform for it.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. Those sort of people that support you like that, it's like you can't put a price on them sort of things.
Definitely.
Whether you're a DJ like me or you're doing a poetry thing like you do, the people that travel and come and genuinely come, not because they want something from you, because they genuinely want to help you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, literally, like him coming to Leeds, like I said, he got at me to do the Leeds thing, and it was like no fee. He literally just came for the support. Wow. He rolled. He stayed with me at my friend's house. He was just like mates, and I've literally known him for a few months, but we are friends. We're beyond, like, it's not just a working relationship. So
dope, man.
Top people.
So tell us quickly, we're coming up to the last like 10 minutes of the show. Mickey D's going to be up after me 11 to 1 with the pure beats and vibes. He's in the house. Shout out to Mickey. Big shout out to CJ Cooper as well in the house. So yeah, just tell us a little bit about, like I said, some of the ground that you've covered, because you've done some amazing stuff, man, which is you know, like even like people like me that know you, it's almost like it might have gone with a bit unnoticed because you've just been doing so much, right?
Well, okay, so the most probably highlighted thing at the moment is Moetry is actually nominated for the best poetry and spoken word event of 2019, and that was I think to do with events across the UK.
Okay.
So
has that been announced yet?
Yeah, that's been announced. You can go to the poetryawards.com. And if you go to vote, if you go to the most popular spoken word event 2019, there's a little drop down section. I'm actually up against like Flow Vortex, Penting, some other well established events. Okay. So it's quite amazing to be mentioned in the same breath as them.
Wow, man, well done, mate.
Yeah, so hopefully. And
how is it? Because I spoke when we were interviewing Miss Yankey earlier. It might have been Woodzy. I touched on a point that I feel like in the world you come from, there's no like ego. There's no everyone trying to climb over each other to get to the top or to get the limelight. And where I come from, it's, you know, like again, like, you know, people might be listening going, oh, what's he talking about? But it's driven by ego so massively. And it's like people aren't really always that genuine. People aren't trying to help each other. They're all trying to, it's like someone thinks that there's a #1 prize at the end of the road when there isn't. Yeah,
it's aggressively competitive, where these are more like supportive competitive, in the sense that they support each other. They try and go as hard as they can to better each other. And even like, say like with especially Woodzy for one, and Miss Yankey, they both are poets that Woodzy actually met at Flow Vortex. I got his details, and then he actually hollered at me another time and said he wanted to perform there. Yeah. As for Miss Yankey, she's heard about the event through another prolific poet called Shahid, and he's spoken well about the event. So getting her to come down was more of a like, she wants to do the event as much as I wanted to get her down. Right. Okay. And with poets at that level as well, especially, and YA is another poet that a good friend of her. Same sort of thing. They know about the event, and them knowing about the event, hearing so many good things, they want to do the event more for liking the event as opposed to it's just like another book. Sure. No, so that's been quite amazing as well. And I just feel, I love the way this new generation of poets, because we were talking about it earlier, it's like when I mentioned about the lead, I was busting joke about the lead scene. It's like sometimes I wouldn't have even imagined there was a poetry scene at least, because sometimes a lot of people think poetry is some crusty old dude got a book down from the library and is reading flipping. I was going to say William Shakespeare, but he's not a poet, is it? It sounds like a right idiot. No, completely. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like Oscar Wilde or someone reading a book. Definitely, and I think what I've been happy to do and proud to do is a lot of the friends that actually, and people that come to Moetry, a lot of them are mixed with ravers, people that maybe wouldn't look at poetry as something they'll do. Definitely. And they've come there to support me, which I'm very happy they've done. And it's actually turned people that would never go to something like this. Yeah. Like majority of them will say to me after, I would never have gone to this. And now I have. Some of them have turned into poets. So like my friend Dominic, I've got another friend called
big up
Sausage.
Dominic the chef.
Yeah, Dom the chef.
He's not giving up chefing for poetry, is he?
You know what? Fun enough, I did actually a collaboration with him in September. It was Chef Dom meets Moetry. So that was like dinner and poetry. They had a 3-course meal. Then after that, we had a Moetry session after.
Wow, man!
So
very civilized. A far cry from your raving days when we were all.
Getting up to all sorts. It was getting up to all sorts back then. But yeah, it's just amazing that I've been able to bring people together and change what their perception is of poetry.
Definitely,
and it's actually created a lot of poets in house, and I've seen a lot of good stories shared, and a lot of people have come a long way from when they started to what they have now. So I feel like I'm having that little bit of a turn as well, definitely towards it. And also I feel like like I said to you before, the realness of it is something that is quite captivating as well. And you know, like you've done a charity work with Calm. Yeah. Shout out to James Harley. I done it with Remember. It's an event called Remember, and it was on behalf of Calm, campaign against liver misery, and that was at Bar 9294, which is next to Bar 90. I've actually done Moetry on the terrace. because we've done one before in the summer.
What an amazing space that is, by the way. I've played there. It's wicked, isn't it?
It was prolific just to have all these people sitting outside, just by like canal boats going past, and like all these poets just spitting bars. It was definitely that.
And that is for male suicide, mental health and stuff.
Definitely, and that's something that is definitely very close to me as well. Because part of the reason I started the event, I had one of my best friends, Jonathan. Big shout out to John up there. He actually passed away due to mental health illness, and I felt like a lot of the time when he was going through what he's going through, there was a struggle for him to kind of speak about what he went through, and I realised, other people, I'm not saying they had mental health and where they can't speak about their problems, but I feel like there was not a platform to people to kind of express themselves without being judged or kind of boxed, pigeonholed and something. And so I thought to create this kind of space where people could come together and everybody could be a part of it. Whereas if you do a rave, you can only be a DJ or an MC or something.
Definitely, man.
And you can all come together and just speak about your problems and kind of release, and it's kind of almost like open therapy with like someone to speak about you. So.
And again, I hate to speak like sounding negative when I'm talking about what the scene that I come from or the world, the industry, but at the moment, mental health is like it's become a fad. Right, and I say this in the greatest respect. I mean, we've all suffered from it at some point, or anxiety levels different. But I feel like there's a fad for it at the moment. I'm seeing all these big labels mention no names, and even through the media and stuff as well. It's almost like hashtag this. They're just doing it because
jumping on the kind of trend thing. Whereas it's been something that's been there for a while, and it's not been given the sort of light or recognition, because it's almost been, especially with men, where to talk about your emotions is, the term "man up" is one of the most wrongly used terms, where it makes men feel like they can't speak about their emotions, and where everyone should be able to speak about how they feel. And I think there is that little small market of people that may be just jumping on the bandwagon, but then there is that genuine, organic section of people that are doing it. They have reason to do it, like they have connections like I do as well.
No, definitely. And if there's anyone out there listening to the show and any of these topics have affected them, is jack back and listen to the workshops that you guys are doing. You might find somewhere like he was saying, Woodzy, like a happy place, and stuff like that. Well, we'll leave you with one more track. Mo, I'm going to shake your hand and say I'm very proud of you,
Thanks
mate.
for having me, mate.
No worries, man. Well done. I hope next Thursday is a great success for you, which is obviously 93 Feet East, 7th of November. Moetry presents Back to 93.
Amazing lineup of people there. Please come down. You've been for a drill treat.
Poetry will save the day. That's what I will say. And I'm going to leave you with this last record by Jack, aptly titled "Love Will Save the Day." Always a dance floor burner, this one. Once again, thanks to Mo. Big up to Miss Yankey, to Woodzy as well. Shout out to Calica doing the visuals as well for Sunshine Music for Sunshine People.
Make sure